So my topic was on the Trump effect and how it's affected racism nationally and internationally. So I have my sources on this document over here, and the first source that I have is called the Trump effect. It's a PDF format written by an organization called the Southern Poverty Law Center. Basically, what this article was about was it was actually like a study done by this organization, and it was given to teachers across the country for elementary and middle school teachers. And basically it asked questions like, how has this presidential election affected the kids in your classes? How have they been acting differently? How do you feel about it? And the response they got was very negative. Kids have been saying things that they've never said in class before, such as, going up to kids, minorities, and saying, you're a terrorist or go back to your country. And mostly in a school setting, teachers aren't allowed to express their political opinion. But this year's election caused many different results. And whereas teachers won't explicitly say they support Hillary, they'll always, well, not always, but they'll say that Trump is not the presidential candidate that our country needs, and that he's not even a decent human being, and his values are not something we should learn. So that's what the entire first source was about. The second source is called Trump Effect, Hatred, Fear, and Bullying on the Rise in Schools, and it was by the Huffington Post. And this article was a recap of the first resource that I had, and it also added in a few other first-hand experiences from adults that they did interviews with. It was actually one of the examples that they used was an adult, an older Hispanic male, and he is a Republican, treated horribly. One of his clients was arrested and back to the country, even though he's been raised here almost all his life. So a few examples are also included in the Huffington Post, and this again agrees with the point that was in the first their of slander and hatred are increasing. The third source is called Race/Color Discrimination, and while this actually isn't an opinionated source, this is an online governmental website by the U.S. Equal Opportunity Employment Commission. They basically lay out the official laws on how businesses can create the environment and what the rules and laws against that are. So it's kind of ironic and funny in a sense to see this, because it shows you and tells you exactly what you can't do, yet all of Trump's ideals have been going against this. The fourth source is called Racism, Ethnic Density, and Psychological Well-Being Through Adolescence, and this is by the U.S. National Library of Medicine National Institutes of Health, and this is a study that they did with many different minorities of many different financial backgrounds, and basically they were trying to test whether or not it mattered your medical or your financial background or your ethnicity, and they were trying to see what type of group or which level of each category got affected more by racism. And they found that no matter what your economical situation is, you could be a well-off minority, you will still be targeted more for racism rather than someone who is in a poor financial condition and white. And the last source is called The Trump Effect, Our Kids and Country Are Still Being Contaminated. This is by the Washington Post, and this is an online news website, and this agrees with the other opinionated articles that the Trump effect is having a devastating effect on the younger generation and teaching them values that were never explicitly said before. And this interests me because not only does it talk about now, but it talks about how the kids will grow up in the future with these values, even if Trump doesn't become president, and what type of effect the adults that are expressing their feelings towards Trump, their positive feelings, how that's going to affect the country as well. So these are my sources, and this is my topic.